Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello. How are you?
Hi, Miss. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Everything was okay in all my day. Until now, everything is okay. But I mean, I was having some troubles with the account, the Zoom account of the school. I don't know what happened. It hasn't happened to me, at least this year, right? Not before. I can tell you that it hasn't happened to me never, but not lately. And I don't know what happened today. And something happened also with my headset configuration here in the controllers in the laptop. I don't know what's going on. Probably the universe didn't want me to work today. No.
Yes, Miss. That's what I was about to tell you. You didn't take the signals.
I didn't take the signals, Dennis. You are right. But I'm a little hardworking, and sorry for the delay, guys. It wasn't my intention, right? But I would try to do this class as dynamic as possible. And thank you very much for your good wishes. Thank you for your good vibes, guys. Thank you very much. I'm very fortunate, and I'm really, really happy, right? Not just today. I try to be happy every day, but I have another opportunity, no, to have another year uh, with good health. No, that's important. Very, very important, guys. Thank you very much. What can you see, guys, in this case? Let me check. Because you are not uh, seeing my image, but now you are seeing my image. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. What can you see here? What does it resemble to you? What do you think it is about? Any idea?
A woman
Uh-huh.
walking in the mountains.
Uh-huh. A woman walking, probably out of the
Camping.
hiking.
And maybe she's camping on the mountains.
Probably she's camping, probably she's going camping up on the mountains. Okay. Thank you, guys. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah.
Maybe taking a rest, a break.
So maybe taking a break. There is something called a gap year that is very common in European countries. Do you know anything about it? A gap year?
Yes.
What is it? What is a gap year?
Like taking a time to think about what you want to do. Because I remember the meeting. Well, in this case, when you are about to go to the university, but you don't want to, well, you don't know where to study, so you take a gap year to
Mm,
think well the things if you really want to study or do another thing.
Okay, thank you. And did you take a gap year after high school? Because it's not very common in Latin America. It's not very common in America, in fact, in the whole continent. It's getting more common in the States nowadays, but it hasn't been very common lately. It started in the UK. This idea originated in the UK in the 13th century, guys, and it became more popular after World War II, right? After the Second World War, became more popular in different countries in Europe, right? What are the advantages of having a gap year? What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages, but mainly benefits of a gap year?
But you can't realize or figure out what you really want by trying different things or investigating, and also you can take like a rest.
Okay, you can take like a rest from academic stuff, no?
Yes,
Rest
sometimes
from, yes, 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 Dennis, go ahead.
tired.
Uh-huh. Or avoid the burnout. Some students have this syndrome, no, of the burnout, right? That is being very tired, exhausted after studying, right? And not just after studying high school, after studying university mainly, right? Nowadays it's getting more common, guys, to have a gap year after university, before undergraduate students, right? Or before starting a career, right? Have you heard about it? Or has it happened to you or any relative or any acquaintance around you?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
I,
Dana?
I think in those days are kind of more common. In my case, I have two friends that take a gap year,
Hmm?
and actually they are having working for some years. After that, they decided to go another country and take a gap, and after that, they returned to Mexico again.
All right, correct. So in that case, who has taken a gap year?
Miss, as she told, I did that her friends. But I took 2 years to travel, and then
Excellent, excellent. Yes, and I
I was
remember that you told us.
in the university,
Mm-hmm.
and I took this year that they gave to you to come back, but I didn't. I didn't come back again to this university. So because it it took longer, so I had to look for another university. But I took 2 gap years.
Okay. And how did it work for you? Yes, Isabel. Just let Dennis just to answer this, and of course your turn, Isabel. How did it work for you?
It was good because I could do what like I wanted to try a different experience while I was younger, and I enjoyed those 2 years. And then I came back and I said, okay, it is enough, and I can continue with my studies. It was I don't know the word, like, for pleasant, para decir placentero, for like I yeah,
Pleasant, or delightful, pleasant,
it was pleasant.
pleasant. Uh-huh. Yeah, of course. And you enjoyed a lot and very joyful, or also joyful, you can say. It was joyful, of course, right?
Yes, and as I told you, I I had enough of that, and then I came and I said, okay, let's continue.
Right, excellent. Isabel, thank you, Dennis. Isabel,
I
please.
just want you to say that gap year is very common for teachers to take, but we name it sabbatical year.
Uh-huh. Yes, and did you take it? Have you taken it,
No,
Isabel?
no, I
Why
think
not?
no, 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 no. I don't think no.
Uh-huh. Because you haven't applied, or because uh, what would
Uh, because I like what I do, and I think if I don't do it, I will feel very, very out of earth. I don't know how do you say, you know.
okay, you wouldn't feel comfortable, no? You
Uh-huh.
wouldn't feel on your element, in my
Yes.
element, you
Oh,
can
yeah,
say,
that's
in my
correct.
element,
Uh-huh.
in your element, no?
My element.
Okay. In that case, Daisy, Leslie, any comments, Daniel, about these gap years, or no, not at all?
Without comments, teacher. Sorry, I'm eating.
No comments? Okay. Okay, bon appetit. Okay, Leslie?
Thank you, teacher. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much,
You
Daniel.
look gorgeous tonight, teacher.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I feel very good because I could see my family today. Uh, I could of course have some hours with them, with my granddaughter that she's 1 year old, and of course I feel very very happy because of that. Thank you, Daniel. Fernanda.
Sure. You look too young to have a granddaughter.
Oh, I'm 51 now. Yes, but yes, I was a young mom. That's why I was quite young when I
My
was.
my my dad is 51 too.
Oh,
I don't have any
you don't
children
have any
yet.
children, of course,
No,
no. Okay, but
no.
I suppose you are younger than my daughter. Fernanda, please. Yes, my daughter is 31. Mhm. That's why, probably. No? Yes, Fernanda, please, your turn.
Could you hear me well?
Yes.
Ah, okay. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you,
And
Fernanda.
um, also, I think a negative aspect of this gap year could be that you feel like you're falling behind. And some of my friends wanted to take a gap year, and also me, but we feel like this, like we're going to fall behind,
Mhm.
and we didn't want it. So maybe it could be a negative aspect.
It could be, yeah, especially in this psychological way, right? Yeah, I think that could happen to many students or to many people. Just as Isabel mentioned, even though we are working or people are working, probably they don't feel that comfortable, no? Because they like what they do, but also students prefer going on, right? Moving on the next step, right? Not to lose, no? Not to lose any time, no? That could be like losing something, no? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because our way of thinking or our needs, right? It depends on the needs. Yeah. But both are valid, no? If, either if somebody has taken 1 or 2 gap years or none, both are valid, of course. Any reasons are valid. Let's listen to 5 speakers, guys, talking about this gap year, right? They are going to talk about why they didn't go to the university directly after leaving school, of course. So this gap year or gap time, because it can be more than a year. Choose from the list the reason each speaker gives. Use the letters only once. So you have 3 extra letters which you do not need to use, right? So we have from A to H, as you can see, we have 3 extra because we will have just 5 speakers. All right. Okay. So a wish to see new places, a misunderstanding about applying, a desire to have a break from studying, a wish to stay near to home, or a decision to prioritize family commitments, a desire to start a career immediately, right? As you mentioned, Fernanda, right? A feeling of not being mature enough, or an inability to find a suitable course, right? What would be the reason that they decide not to go to university after leaving school? In this case, yes? Ready? Okay. Please, as these are quite long and quite fast speeches, can you please take notes? You can type them or you can write it down if you prefer, right? By handwriting or by typing, of course. By take notes of especially keywords. Remember that keywords are the key to give you, of course, the answer, right? And then we can talk about it.
I did like the idea of eventually going to university, but it felt like same
Yes, good. The sound, right?
Yes,
Here,
Miss.
again after 12 years of
one,
having my nose in.
one more time.
At school, I always thought I'd wake up one day knowing exactly what I wanted to do with my life, but that never happened. I did like the idea of eventually going to university, but it felt like same again after 12 years of having my nose in books. When I was offered a job straight out of school, I took it without thinking. I changed jobs quite a bit before the penny finally dropped, and I realised that nursing was the career for me. I also felt that the time was right because I'd done a lot of growing up in the intervening years. So here I am at university at last.
Speaker 2.
Well, my wife and I got married really young, straight out of school. We just wanted to get on with being independent, I suppose, and getting on the first rung of the employment ladder was central to that. We both went out and got ourselves good positions, so financially we were secure. But after a few years I felt I wanted to change direction in terms of my work, and I realised that higher education was the only way. My wife and kids tried to persuade me to do something in computers so I could earn loads of money, but I chose to do politics instead.
Speaker 3.
When I didn't apply for a university place in my final year at school, people thought I wanted to take a year out for traveling. But I've wanted to be a vet for as long as I can remember, and I especially want to treat wild animals, and opportunities for studying that subject at university are few and far between. It actually took me ages to come up with one that exactly fitted the bill. Eventually, I got offered a place at a university in Europe, starting next year. At least I've got time to earn a bit of money to take with me, and I can hardly wait to go.
Speaker 4.
My parents dropped a bombshell when I was in my final year at school. They calmly announced that we were emigrating to Australia, where I live now. Staying behind to go to university was never an option for me, because Australia was a place I'd always fancied visiting. I think my parents just thought I'd be able to get straight into university in Australia, but the system's a bit different here, and it turned out I'd already missed the deadline. But I spent a great year travelling around Australia and enjoying the Australian way of life. I feel I've grown up now and become more responsible, and that I'll study harder because of my break.
Speaker 5.
I was all set to go off to university after I finished school, and even had the application forms ready to fill in. Then my grandfather got taken ill, and he needed help to get around. I decided to go and live with him, 'cause my mum was busy with a full-time job and we didn't really live nearby. So I spent 6 months doing that. I was completely broke, but I had plenty of free time, and as he lives near the sea, I even took up surfing. It was great to experience something different. He's made a full recovery now, and I'm planning to go to university next year.
Got it? Or very quickly? Or did you get,
I
you get
think
most of them?
Now
I
you're
got
doing
it.
part 3 again.
Sorry. Because you will... Yes, sorry, Dennis. Yes? Sorry. Yes? You were going to say?
Oh, Miss, I was saying that I think I got it.
Okay, you think you got it? The rest? Fernanda, Daisy, Daniel, Isabel, Leslie, yes? Anna?
I would like to hear it again. In, that, in my case, it was kind of rápido.
Kind of fast, of course. Yes, of course, yes. Yes, listen one more time. We will listen again, and I'm going to pause. You are going to give me, before giving me the answer, please, let's check some keywords, right? What keywords help you take the best answer or the decision for that option, all right? Before checking A, B, C, D, E, etc., right? So let's check some keywords first about the first speaker, right? And little by little, because this is a strategy, right, for listening. Then we are going to check some strategies, not just about listening, about the speaking, right? Okay, here we go for the first one.
At school, I always thought I'd wake up one day knowing exactly what I wanted to do with my life, but that never happened. I did like the idea of eventually going to university, but it felt like same again after 12 years of having my nose in books. When I was offered a job straight out of school, I took it without thinking. I changed jobs quite a bit before the penny finally dropped, and I realised that nursing was the career for me. I also felt that the time was right because I'd done a lot of growing up in the intervening years. So here I am at university at last.
Keywords. Keywords for speaker one. And she speaks quite fast, of course. Dennis?
Job, nursing.
Okay, job, nursing. Okay. Any other? Thank you, Dennis. Any other that you wrote down? Daniel, Ana, Fernanda, Daisy? No? Isabel or Leslie? That you may.
Study.
Okay, study. Study, job, nursing. Right? Okay, so which of these reasons did you choose from speaker one?
Letter
Letter C, I think.
Desire to have a break from studying? Yes?
Yes, because she
Huh?
said something about she had been studying for 12
she was too
years.
fast.
Okay. So she said something that she wanted to have a break, no? From studying. And then Daniel, thank you, Dennis. Daniel, your turn, please.
The same teacher. Yeah, like she always was a student.
Okay. Do you agree, Isabel, Daisy? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's check the second one.
Speaker 2.
Well, my wife and I got married really young, straight out of school. We just wanted to get on with being independent, I suppose, and getting on the first rung of the employment ladder was central to that. We both went out and got ourselves good positions, so financially we were secure. But after a few years I felt I wanted to change direction in terms of my work, and I realised that higher education was the only way. My wife and kids tried to persuade me to do something in computers so I could earn loads of money, but I chose to do politics instead.
Okay, so in this case, why did he didn't go to university directly after leaving school?
A decision to prioritize family commitments.
Okay, a decision to prioritize these family commitments. Why? Keywords.
Or his wife.
Got married. No,
They got married so young.
married so young.
Uh-oh.
So, yes, and his wife, right? Of course, right? Okay, that was me. Yes, that happened to me as well, guys. That's why I'm a young grandmom. But afterwards, I continue university, right? Then that would be, of course, letter E. Excellent. Yes, Anna? Yes? Or it is still being very,
Yes,
very,
teacher.
yes? Okay. Give me some of the keywords that you wrote from a speaker 3, please. Right? Not just Anna.
Hungry.
Not just Anna. Daisy. You have been very, very serious today or very silent. Oh, please, Daisy as well. Anna. Leslie. Okay.
Speaker 3.
When I didn't apply for a university place in my final year at school, people thought I wanted to take a year out for traveling. But I've wanted to be a vet for as long as I can remember, and I especially want to treat wild animals, and opportunities for studying that subject at university are few and far between. It actually took me ages to come up with one that exactly fitted the bill. Eventually, I got offered a place at a university in Europe, starting next year. At least I've got time to earn a bit of money to take with me, and I can hardly wait to go.
Keywords that you could relate with her answer. Some keywords, guys. Any?
For me, is the letter F, a desire to start a career immediately.
I decided to start a career immediately. What career did she mention?
Mm, I'm not sure, teacher.
Remember? Okay, don't worry. Okay, do you agree with Daniel, guys? The rest of you girls?
I hear that's something with wild animals or something like that. Also that oh no, I don't remember.
Fernanda, don't worry.
When she finally find a course that she wants.
Okay. So, okay. So in that case, you decided letter H, Leslie?
Yes.
Okay.
Me
So
too.
let's listen just one more time. I'm going to play just one part.
But after a few years, I felt I wanted to change direction in terms of my work, and I realized that higher education was the only way. My wife and kids tried to persuade me to do something in computers so I could
this
earn
is
loads of money,
speaker
but
two,
I
of
chose to
course.
do politics instead.
Speaker 3.
When I didn't apply for a university place in my final year at school, people thought I wanted to take a year out for traveling. But I've wanted to be a vet for as long as I can remember. And
Okay, so people thought, no, she didn't want to, well, she wanted to travel, no? But in fact, no, she wanted to be a vet.
especially want to treat wild animals, and opportunities for studying that subject at
And treat wild animals. Wild animals. That's why you listened something about wild animals, no, Fernanda? Yes.
university are few and far between.
So opportunities for that are few and far between, at least in the place where she lived.
It actually took me ages to come up with one that exactly fitted the bill.
Okay, so it was long for her to find the correct or the suitable or accurate or appropriate course.
Eventually, I got offered a place at a university in Europe starting next year. At least
So she got a place at the university in Europe, right? But the following year, right? So in that case, that would be, as you mentioned, guys, no? Leslie and Dennis, H, no? So she didn't go to university right away because she didn't find a suitable course immediately, right? Yes, she wanted to study immediately, but she didn't find the suitable or appropriate course, right? For her, because it was quite specific, right? For treating wild animals, right? And most vets, no, in certain countries treat domestic, no, mainly house animals, no. Speaker 4.
I've got time to earn a bit of money to take with me, and I can hardly wait to go.
And save money, of course.
Speaker 4.
My parents dropped a bombshell when I was in my final year at school. They calmly announced that we were emigrating to Australia, where I live now. Staying behind to go to university was never an option for me, because Australia was a place I'd always fancied visiting. I think my parents just thought I'd be able to get straight into university in Australia, but the system's a bit different here, and it turned out I'd already missed the deadline. But I spent a great year travelling around Australia and enjoying the Australian way of life. I feel I've grown up now and become more responsible, and that I'll study harder because of my break.
Keywords. That's why I'm emphasizing this idea of keywords, Fernanda.
Traveling,
Deadlines.
enjoying.
A lot of places to see.
Their parents thought he going to be straight to university, but he didn't.
Okay, yes. Of course, we can find different words, but just a few words related to the answer, right? Because of course he mentioned many things, no? Many arguments. As you mentioned, Leslie, his parents thought he was going to go to university right away, but he didn't. He mentioned being more responsible, no? After traveling, yes, as you mentioned, Isabel, no? Traveling throughout Australia, no? Right? So being more responsible. So in that case, if we just catch, no, that as keyword, that idea, being more responsible, that would be
Letter G.
letter G, a feeling of not being mature enough, no? Not for going to university right away, right? And that happened to some people, no? Of course, right? Yes. So that's why I'm emphasizing, no? Keywords to give you the related answer, right? Because yes, we can find a lot of ideas in their speeches, of course, and different words, but just a few of them are related to the answer, right? Especially when they are speaking very fast, as this is very common, right?
Speaker 5.
I was all set to go off to university after I finished school, and even had the application forms ready to fill in. Then my grandfather got taken ill, and he needed help to get around. I decided to go and live with him, 'cause my mum was busy with a full-time job and we didn't really live nearby. So I spent 6 months doing that. I was completely broke, but I had plenty of free time, and as he lives near the sea, I even took up surfing. It was great to experience something different. He's made a full recovery now, and I'm planning to go to university next year.
Keywords. Or one more time. Tell me. Or it's okay.
Now you'll hear part 3 again.
Well, is the repetition? And I just backwards this. So, keywords. Are you finding this challenging? Very challenging.
I think this one is letter D. I wish to stay near to home.
I wish to stay near home. What keywords? What did she mention? What key ideas did she mention about it?
She wanted to stay near by a relative, but I don't remember who was it.
He mentioned his mother that she has a full-time job and to stay with his father too.
Okay. But she didn't have enough money, right? She said she was broke, no? Okay, let's check just the last part.
I'd already missed the deadline. But I spent a great year travelling.
5.
I was all set to go off to university after I finished school, and even had the application forms ready to fill in. Then my grandfather got taken ill, and he needed help to get around. I decided...
Okay, so her grandfather was
Got
sick,
ill.
got ill, so she decided to stay around, no? To stay near home, right?
to go and live with him, 'cause my mum was busy with a full-time job.
Because her mom was busy with a full-time
And
job.
we didn't really live nearby. So I spent 6 months doing that. I was completely broke, but I had plenty of free time, and as he lives near the sea, I even took up surfing. It was great to experience something different. He's made a full recovery now, and I'm planning to go to university next year.
So it was really a need, no? And a wish. More than everything, I wish to stay near to home because of her grandfather, right? Yes. Or or do we have a decision to prioritize? No, because family commitments, we have already said that, no, in speaker 2, right? Family commitments about having a spouse and having kids very young, no? So that's why the only that we have in this case is letter D, right? And since the very beginning, did you choose something similar or different? Let me know your process. How do you normally process this kind of strategies or this kind of listening skills? What do you usually do, guys? So you listen to the whole.
First, read the options that
Uh-huh. First read the options, Fernanda. Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yes. Excellent. Then, do you always extract some ideas, keywords, or key phrases, or main ideas? Or
I try to listen all teacher and get like a resume, because if I focus in something, I miss the rest of the conversation. So I try to understand everything, and then I follow with the keywords as you said.
okay, okay. So first, the general idea, of course, the general stuff. Isabel, Daniel, Daisy, Dennis, what
You
is
get
your
some keywords, but sometimes it's very difficult because the different pronunciation of the recording, and you don't understand all complete. So you have to extract the mainly words, or I that's what I do.
okay? Okay, thank you. Anna, did you find this kind of activities very challenging? Daniel?
Kind of that in my case is kind of that challenging because the speakers speak fast for me, and then you have to catch the word, the meaning, and then uh, they continue, and that was challenge.
Yes, that is challenging. It is challenging. In fact, let me tell you that I have done this kind of activities with native speakers, no? English is, of course, in English native speakers, and they have told me, why do you have to do this? This is tricky. This is tricky. Even though they are native speakers, they say this is tricky because you can listen to different ideas that are written there, right? Because some speakers use them, right? And I say, yes, I know. This is the way some certifications do it. No, they want um to test you, of course, right? To test your skills, but also your strategies, right? That's why it's important having strategies, no? Having strategies is really, really important. Talking about the strategies, can you give me 10 more minutes after 10? Because, well, I was a little late because of uh, these issues, of course, with the Zoom account. Is it okay? For some of you, well, the ones who can. If not,
Yes,
well,
teacher.
you may check the recording, of course. Okay, talking about the strategies, guys, let's check some strategies about speaking, right? Probably it's not going to be enough time, 10 minutes, but let's just introduce the topic and then we may continue, right? With more, of course, more strategies about the speaking. This, of course, this Wednesday, huh? And also other day, no? Okay, other days. Okay, or another days. Anyway, let me give you the link, of course, for this. Here we have. Okay, talking about gap years, this is another listening, but besides doing the listening, please take a screenshot for filling these gaps, right? Job A or B. Are they talking about job A or B? What responsibilities, right? Are they talking about in this job? Because they are talking about a job during a gap year, right? Many students, especially European students, take a volunteering job for this gap year, right? Salary, and what about the hours and accommodation included? Yes or no? Just general. In this case, general and just a few specific stuff. You will listen this totally different from the previous ideas, the previous link, because, well, in this case, you will notice the pronunciation as well, right? Is different intonation, and especially accent. Yes? Okay. Let's listen and check this.
I'm ringing to inquire about the job of fruit picker, which I saw advertised on your website. Could I possibly ask you some questions about it?
Certainly. What would you like to know?
Well, first of all, may I ask what the responsibilities are?
That's an easy question to answer. You have to pick apples, and then you put them into boxes.
I see. Another thing I wanted to know is, how much do you pay?
We pay quite well. It's £8 an hour. Your total salary depends on how many hours you work, of course.
Ah, speaking of hours, what time would I start work, and what time would I finish?
We start early, at 7 in the morning, and finish at 4 in the afternoon.
Moving on to the question of accommodation, do you provide your workers with anywhere to stay, or do we have to find our own accommodation?
No, we don't provide accommodation, I'm afraid, but there is a large hostel near the farm.
Okay, thanks very much for your help. I'll have a think about it and get back to you.
You're welcome. Bye now.
Goodbye.
Did you get any of the gaps? Are they talking about job A or B? Because both are fruit picking. But what would be the main
Letter
difference?
B, teacher.
Why, Daniel?
For me, letter B.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure. I only said, well, she take the fruits and put in the boxes. And for me, it's like more like the
That letter B? Okay. Do you agree with, thank you, Daniel. Do you agree with Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay. Responsibilities?
Take fruit into the boxes.
Okay. Take fruit. Then take them to the boxes. So take fruit would be number 1, responsibility 1. Number 2, put them into boxes. And that's it. Yes. Salary?
£8
£8 per hour.
per hour.
Per hour. Hours?
7 a.m. to
7
4
to 4.
p.m.
From 7 to 4 p.m. From 7 to 4. Accommodation included?
No.
No, it is not included.
It's not included, right? Okay. Would you have taken fruit picking job? No. For a gap year? Not really, no? Hard. Quite hard, no?
Not miss.
Not really, no? Teaching English for children? Probably. No? Probably. No? Job A, and we're going to check why. Pick apples, right? Pick apples, right? In this one, right? And put them in boxes. No, that would be responsibility 1, pick apples, and then put them into boxes, as you mentioned. Correct. The rest of the ideas, correct. Let's check very quickly. A strategy. Complete the speaking strategy with the words below, please, guys. Here we have ask, question, reminds, something, a speaking, and think. A speaking strategy. What do you think will be? Make sure that you refer to all 4 points in the task. You may need to move the conversation on in order to cover all 4 points. For example, moving on to the question of, no, whatever. Another I wanted to ask. So moving, moving on to the thing of, moving up to the thing of picking or no, organizing or whatever. Another question I wanted to ask, right? Or I wanted to know is, as the boy, no? The boy was calling and asking. Then else I like to talk about this.
Something.
Something else I want. I like to talk about is, could I possibly do about? Could I possibly
Reminds?
Ask.
ask, no? Ask you about, because of about, remember when we were talking about dependent prepositions, no? Ask for or ask about. And this is another topic that we are missing to extend, right? Dependent prepositions when using especially verbs, no? And of X, no? If X has been mentioned, right? Reminds of, no? In that case, reminds of, right? Reminds of something, right? Remind you of something, right? Because remind of is also another dependent preposition. And that, no, right, sorry, that reminds me.
It does.
Yes, that reminds me. There is a link with something you wanted to say or ask. All right, that reminds me that I want to know about the accommodation, right? Does it include accommodation? Sorry, yes. And five?
Speaking of.
Speaking of. Speaking of picking apples, right? Or speaking of whatever, right? It's something that has been mentioned before. So in that case, we are going to be using any of these ideas, of course, not right now, but on Wednesday, right? Before going to more vocabulary about dependent prepositions. And we are going to use certain, of course, vocabulary in order to have a role play. You are going to have a role play because it was going to be part of today's lesson, but well, because of the time, let's do it for Wednesday, right? Okay. Take the phrases, just let's finish with this. Take the phrases in the speaking strategy that the interviewee uses, just the interviewee, right?
I'm ringing to inquire about the job of fruit picker, which I saw advertised on your website. Could I possibly ask you some questions about it?
Certainly. What would you like to know?
Well, first of all, may I ask what the responsibilities are?
That's an easy question to answer. You have to pick apples, and then you put them into boxes.
I see. Another thing I wanted to know is, how much do you pay?
We pay quite well. It's £8 an hour. Your total salary depends on how many hours you work, of course.
Speaking of hours, what time would I start work, and what time would I finish?
We start early, at 7 in the morning, and finish at 4 in the afternoon.
Moving on to the question of accommodation, do you provide your workers with anywhere to stay, or do we have to find our own accommodation?
No, we don't provide accommodation, I'm afraid, but there is a large hostel near the farm.
Okay, thanks very much for your help. I'll have a think about it and get back to you.
You're welcome. Bye now.
Goodbye.
Okay, so the interviewee mentioned for, could I possibly ask you about, no? What else? Did you listen that the boy asked the interviewer? No? Don't remember, guys? No? What phrases in this box did the interviewee, that is the boy, right, used? Do you remember? Or less? Are you awake? Or you're sleepy now?
First
We are
one.
here, teacher.
Yes. So in that case, moving on the question of,
Question of.
another thing I wanted to ask, could I possibly ask you something? Speaking of, right? And of course, well, I'm going to give you the link. Anyway, we are going to continue, of course, talking about these strategies for speaking, because this is quite formal speaking, of course, quite formal. even though, of course, your TOEIC exam is not including, of course, speaking part, not this TOEIC is just for, as you already know, listening and reading mainly, and listening and reading including grammar and vocabulary. Speaking is very important at any level, but especially at this level, no? Right? Do you agree or no? So let's, of course, practice a little bit more for speaking as well, and more vocabulary this coming Wednesday, right? And then we will have more practice, of course, on TOEIC this coming Thursday, right? Of course.
Okay, teacher.
In order to be prepared you for the mock, remember that the mock exam that is going to be next week, that is going to be just 1 hour. TOEIC is 2 hours mainly, but this mock is going to be just 1 hour. So just part of it is just for practice. Don't get that nervous.
It's like the test at the final of each unit in the TOEIC platform.
Yes, yes, it's just a mock. Yes. So not that difficult, right? But anyway,
Okay.
important. Thank you very much, guys. Excellent night, and thank you for being so patient today.
Thank you, teacher. Enjoying the rest of the night, teacher.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Really. Thanks a lot. An excellent night. Bye-bye. Sleep tight.
Thank you, me.
No, thanks to you guys.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Hello, Anna. Hello, Isabel. Thank you. Bye.
Teacher, happy birthday. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.